So Gilbert Arenas once again continues to give out takes where you just have to scratch your head and wonder, what is he talking about? Now, if you missed it, he talked about how the NBA has double standards when it comes to criticizing American players and criticizing the Euro players. And we're going to be reacting to what he had to say. But the main point of this video is to talk about Luka Doncic and is he the next face of the NBA? Is he really him? You know, he came in the league, he won Rookie of the Year. He's a five-time All-Star. He's going to be a five-time for All-NBA first team. He's made a Western Conference Finals. And he has Dallas as the fifth seed where they could possibly end up in the Western Conference Finals again. I think they're that good. But I want to talk about, Gilbert Arenas and what he had to say. So let me go ahead and play the clip, and we're going to be reacting to it as we listen to what he had to say about Luka and other guys in the league.
Do the big media give Euros this long leash? This long leash of, hey, just play basketball, right? And they micromanage everyone else.
Yeah, I think
is that a real thing? Or is it just me?
You think, do you think they give Giannis a long leash?
Jayson Tatum damn near can't be a superstar because a 25-year-old can't make it win a championship.
I think that Jayson Tatum,
right,
of course, is very strong.
He's a young kid still. We're not talking about he went to the championship at the age of damn near 22, 23, 24. And then you have Luka over here who's compared to Michael Jordan.
So that Jayson Tatum take is ridiculous because the reason why people criticize Tatum so much is because when he came into Boston, he played with Kyrie Irving. He played with Al Horford. He had a Jaylen Brown. Obviously, Jaylen Brown wasn't as good as he is now, but he was around a great franchise. He didn't have to build from the ground up by himself. Where Luka is in Dallas and he's had to build this roster, change things up. And he's never had a great second option until Kyrie came to town. So when you're comparing Luka and Tatum, that is just a bad comparison. Because, yes, Tatum has made the conference finals multiple times. He deserves a lot of credit. He made the NBA finals. But what happened in the finals? He got locked up by Andrew Wiggins. But if you go back to Game 7 against the Heat, when there was 5 minutes to go, he disappeared. Nobody saw Tatum again. If Jimmy Butler makes that three, the Celtics aren't even in the NBA finals. We've seen Boston time and time again watch their best player fold under pressure. Sure, he's outperformed Joel Embiid. We've seen that. Sure, he was down 3-0 against the Heat. It came back, and yes, he rolled his ankle. Fans are wondering, can Tatum be the best player on the basketball court against someone else's best player? We saw it in 2022. Steph Curry was the best basketball player in the NBA Finals. As a Celtics fan, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The 07-08 team, when you saw that roster, did you have any doubt in your mind that they weren't going to win a championship that year? Did you at all? Because I didn't. So let's put this Celtics team in that situation. When the Lakers were up 24 points in the NBA Finals, Boston came back and won that game. Is this roster doing the same thing? Because they're going to go through some adversity. And people are asking, can Tatum lead this team, overcome those obstacles, and be the best player when it matters most? And in close games, when you have to execute, when you have to score. We've seen Tatum in the last 10 seconds of a game where you need a bucket. He takes these contested step-back threes, and they're poor quality shots. So people are wondering, okay, Tatum, you're 6'8". Are you going to get a better shot? I just saw him in Atlanta where he shot this really bad three-point shot, and DeJounte Murray was able to get to the basket and get his shot off a lot easier. These are just questions. It's not that I hate Tatum. I think Tatum is an amazing basketball player. But if I put this team in that situation, down 24 against the Lakers, against Kobe and Paul Gasol, are they coming back? Are they going to not just come back? Are they going to win the game? Because you got to have that fire. You got to have that heart. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have that. I'm just saying the reason why people criticize Tatum so much, I mean, this guy had 100 turnovers on their finals run, and he didn't show up when they needed him. That's why people ask these questions. That's why people criticize Tatum more than they criticize Luka, because he's had talented rosters. And this roster he has, they should win a championship. But I'm not picking them. And the reason why I'm not, because I have evidence of them choking. So until that narrative changes, until they show me that they can execute when it matters, that their best players can be better than the other superstars of the other team, I have no choice but to give it to Denver right now. And that's just a fact. Now, he said something about Luka is the next Michael Jordan. Where in the world in NBA discourse are we having these conversations about Luka Doncic being the next Michael Jordan? I'm trying to find out where, because that makes no sense to me. I don't see anybody saying, "But yeah, Luka is the chosen one. He's going to be better than Michael Jordan." Nobody's saying that. What people see in Luka is an all-time player, top 10 all-time, because he has that kind of talent. It's not that we're saying he's going to end up being better than Michael Jordan. I'm not saying that. I don't see a lot of conversations being had about him and Michael Jordan. I don't see anything on YouTube talking about that. So I don't know where that's coming from. That's just crazy talk to me.
He's James Harden. He's literally James Harden, right? A dude who scored a lot of points, don't play no defense, right? But we see what they did to James Harden, who didn't play defense. They let the world know he didn't play no defense. They let the world know he was a one-sided player. This is all he do. He's just a stat. Luka is considered the next Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan who played defense and offense. And we have one-sided where we're like, all right, one-sided. Well, we know what that looks like. That's James Harden. Can he say he's better than James Harden at scoring?
All right, let's get right into this. Comparing Luka to James Harden is not a crazy comparison because they both can score the ball. They average a lot of points. They average a lot of assists. They don't play great defense. But here's where they separate. The reason why Luka isn't getting a lot of criticism right now because he's only 25 years old. James Harden, after playoff failure is why he gets so much criticism today. That's a big difference. Now, we need to see Luka in more playoff games and more playoff series. This is just another chapter in his 6-year career. Now, when comparing Luka's career to James Harden's career, how long has James Harden been in the league? Since 2009, 2010. What has he done in the playoffs? He's fumbled the bag at times. We saw him have home court against Golden State. Lost game 7. We saw him against the Spurs when they didn't have Kawhi Leonard. They got blown out on their home court. What are Luka's numbers in his first 3 playoff appearances? 32.5 points a game, 7.9 assists a game, 9.3 rebounds a game. And in his second playoff appearance, he took that Clippers team, led by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, to 7 games, had 3 road wins. 3 on the road in their building. And then he made the Western Conference Finals a year later. Now he has them in a position where they could make another Western Conference Finals in his 6-year career. What was James Harden doing at that time? I'm not saying James Harden is a bum, but comparing Luka to James Harden, we need more context. Who's more clutch? We're going to go with Luka. Who can be the alpha on their team? Luka Doncic. We saw James Harden against the Celtics last year in Game 6 and Game 7. Where was James Harden? We haven't had this NBA discourse with Luka Doncic. And to say he's already James Harden, okay, I agree with style. Yes, they're both ball dominant. They put up a lot of numbers. However, the separation is Luka is more reliable in the playoffs. We saw him hit that game winner against the Clippers to tie it at 2-2 in the bubble. Okay, there was no fans, but Luka still did that in his first playoff appearance. Comparing him to James Harden, we got to use more context. The reason why people are not criticizing Luka like they do James Harden right now, because James Harden has been in the league longer. Duh. And he has come up short on multiple occasions. We need a bigger resume for Luka so we can properly critique him. Now, going back to the Michael Jordan take, nobody's saying that. I don't see anybody on ESPN, Undisputed, talking about him being the next Michael Jordan. They compare him more to Larry Bird. So what are we doing here? Now, can Luka be the face of the NBA? Absolutely. And people who hate on European players, they don't like their style or that they're too soft. We are in the era where Europeans are dominating the NBA, whether you like it or not. Sure, I love Jayson Tatum, but do I think he's better than Luka Doncic? No, even as a Celtics fan, I can admit that. Some Celtics fans think Tatum is better. It's ridiculous that we make that comparison. Of course, I think Tatum is a top 10 player, but I think he's right below Luka. That's where I have him because of his success, because he's gotten to an NBA Finals, and I need to see him take that next step. Could he surpass Luka? Yes, he can. But I don't know if he's ever going to. We'll see. There is still plenty of basketball. They have their resumes to fill out, so we need to see how it all plays out. Do I expect Luka Doncic to win a championship this year? No, but man, if he gets to the finals, that's going to turn a lot of heads. So I think Luka being him, absolutely. This guy is incredible, and he'll be an MVP in the next 2 years. I can guarantee that. The reason I say 2 years because we still have Embiid and Jokic, and there's a lot of competition between those three guys. So I think when Luka hits his prime years, he's going to be winning a lot of MVPs. Saying that the media has double standards when it comes to Euros and when it comes to the American players is bizarre. This is just a bad comparison. Jayson Tatum deserves the heat because he has been in a franchise where they have carved out a really good roster. Let's put Luka on this roster. Is Boston winning a championship by now? Probably. Let's just be honest. With all that being said, Luka is only going to get better. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Make sure you guys like the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Gilbert Arenas had to say about Luka Doncic and how the media doesn't criticize the Euros enough. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.